right, it is 6 p.m. A meeting of the Freeport Planning and Zoning Commission is called to order. Mr. Bachman, would you join us in the invocation?
Certainly.
Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day you've given us, and we thank you for this opportunity to gather and look at the city's business and look at the ways to do better things in Freeport. We pray that you would guide our discussions and our decisions and support us that we do your will. We pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We're going to go a little out of order here. We're going to begin with agenda item number 3, consideration of possible action on changing out a stop sign to a yield sign at the corner of Verner and Avenue G. We have citizens' comments, so we're going to have a public hearing. The first one I have here on my list is Ms. Laura Kramer. Kramer, is that right? Kramer.
Good evening, y'all. So I'm coming to y'all not as a city employee, but a resident. I own a house at this block on both sides of the intersection. And I went back and looked at the minutes. This was originally approved in 2012. The lady at the corner had issues with people going really fast down that road. It's a long, straight stretch, and they would just go really fast, and she had kids. And even still today, people run the stop sign, and as you can see, my kiddos are here. We all have kids. There's a lot of kids in the area. We have a lot of concern for their, safety. They play in the front yards. I've talked to my neighbors. They were very concerned. I don't know, there's one that said they were going to be here. They're not here, but they were like, oh no, we cannot get rid of that stop sign. They're right on the corner. I think it's a dangerous situation if it's removed. And that's
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Now I'll call Mickey Finney. Oh, you're not bringing the young man up with you? Oh.
Okay, so I'm Laura Kramer's daughter-in-law. This is her grandson. We have a 3-year-old granddaughter. She's supposed to be getting a bike for Christmas this year. She can't ride the bike anywhere else but the street. You cannot touch that. And with removing that, that puts every kid on that block in danger. Between the hours of 9 and 10, every night, me and my husband hear this one car just fly by from one end to the next, never even trying to stop. So if anything's going to be done on that block, I think an officer needs to start patrolling, because I never see a cop out there as it is. So instead of removing something that's to protect our children, put more out there to protect them. I think that's it.
All right.
You said
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
No, now he's going to be quiet.
Now he's quiet. Oh. Well, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
All right, Josh Finney. We call Josh Finney? No. The wife said it all? I think so. All right. All right, well, that is our citizens' comments for that. Now, we do not have an ordinance in front of us for this action, for this item. So without an ordinance, are we really voting on anything?
Yes, you can.
We can. Casey, how did this end up on our agenda?
There was a couple of them that came requests of, I think it was citizens mentioned to council members, and we were asked to put it on the agenda.
Okay.
All right.
But you can order that change, and then we would just direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance to submit to council. And then, like you've requested before, I just send you a copy of the ordinance to make sure that it is your wishes to go to council.
Is there any discussion among the board?
Well, that's a four-way stop. Now, question is, somebody thought it was important to have a four-way stop there. So, what's the reason? What's the logic for removing it?
I don't know.
Well, it sounded like from comments I heard, and you can see on the screen there, you got this long straight strip.
Yeah.
And you got some real inconsiderate drivers with overpowered cars, or at least overpowered per their intelligence. And, you know, I've seen this happen in I don't know how many communities where you put up a four-way stop just to control the traffic speed. And I'm not opposed to that at all. I think that's a good solution, because, you know, we simply don't have the resources to have policemen out there at the moment when that speeder is going to go by.
Maybe we need to add stop signs to some of the other streets.
Well, I was wondering about that too. I don't see any further down.
If it's a racetrack,
Our next meeting, I do hope to be discussing 8th and Pecan. But,
Okay.
This is about
Yeah.
a stop sign that's already there, potentially being turned into a yield sign, Verner and Avenue G. Is there any more public comments? Any more? I guess with that, we can go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:06.
If you'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to leave it as is.
You make a motion to leave it as is?
I'll second that.
All right, motion made by Eric to leave it as is and as a stop sign.
Yep. Ron,
Seconded.
seconded by Ron.
All in favor of leaving
Aye.
it as is?
Okay.
Go ahead,
There
Pam.
are 3 stop signs here, is that what I'm seeing? Is there one on the?
It's 4. It's a four-way
It's 4.
stop now, and the motion has
Oh, I
been
see.
made.
Okay, I see it now, okay.
The motion's
yes.
been made to keep it as a four-way stop.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, passed unanimous to keep it as a four-way stop. All right, we're now going to go to some little house cleaning business. Consideration of our minutes from the previous meeting from September 26th and October 24th.
Make a motion to approve if everybody's in a.
There's a couple of corrections I'm afraid.
All right,
September 26th, it's just a typo on about the 3rd page where it says take action on, bottom corner of the page.
what page are you on?
Right here.
In that number. But it says must be painted to make
Oh, I'm on
the
that.
structure, it should be match the structure, I think.
yeah, that's the big one.
To match principal structure.
Yeah, isn't that what we talked
To
about?
match, yeah.
Okay. And that's all the notes I made on this particular set of minutes.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All right, motion made by Eric, seconded by Pam. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. On to number 2, consideration and possible action on removing of no parking sign on the 1700 block of 8th Street.
So,
We want to open a public hearing on this. We do have,
Regular session, isn't it?
this is a regular session, yes.
Yes,
But,
I would like to just clarify on that. We do not have currently an ordinance for the no parking signs. That's why they were moved. So we don't have an ordinance to back it up. So those parking signs, no parking, have currently been removed. If you would like them to remain, then we would order the city attorney to write the ordinance to put these no parking signs there.
yeah.
Because right now, the ordinance does not have no parking signs at this location.
Okay.
And I would say somehow that got left out because we put those up and we have discussed that at the planning commission on previous meetings. We had put those up as good several years back, but I think they should stay there. It was a nightmare not having them.
Mr. Larry Fancher is asked to speak.
Good evening, members. My name is Larry Fancher, and I reside at 1630 West 10th Street, just 2 blocks from where the no parking signs have suddenly disappeared. And without hearings or discussions and comments, yes, we are learning why they're no longer there, but I do find it appropriate that our former city officials had the wisdom and forethought to help make the street and neighborhood a safer one by erecting the no parking signs. And nothing has changed in these many years since the signs were installed and enforcement has been in place. 8th Street, like 2nd and 4th Streets, are still heavily traveled thoroughfares. It is well known these major right-of-ways are like racetracks through our city. In attempts to address this problem, stop signs were even added at the 1800 block of 8th Street at Dixie Drive, as well as 4th Street and Dixie Drive intersections. As motorists travel from Yopon Street and 8th Street towards Dixie Drive, they must round the curve where they are often met with oncoming speeding motorists. This is especially more dangerous when the sun is shining in the driver's eyes or at nighttime from blinding car headlights. Then include parked vehicles, utility trailers, boat trailers, campers, and oversized trucks aligned on both sides of the street in a neighborhood of duplex rental properties. This was already proven the situation as parking exceptions had to be made on 2 separate occasions during the recent major alleyway work that took place in the same block between 7th and 8th and 8th and 9th Street. This made it difficult to drive down 8th Street safely, especially when trying to pass oncoming traffic while having to watch out for parked obstacles and where trailer taillight reflectors were not easily visible. High-speed traffic and dimly lighted, cluttered streets don't make for safe roadways. I do want to say thank you for installing lights along this section. I think there were 1 or 2 lights that were installed recently. That has helped a little bit as far as being able to see at nighttime. It is not uncommon for pedestrians, including school kids, while heading to classes just around the corner, to have to walk into the street to go around the garbage debris placed out on the sidewalks, thus making travel along the stretch of roadway even more dangerous should on-street parking be encouraged. I am very concerned and don't want to see the city to permanently remove the no parking signs, as this has become more personal to me, as I had hit a dog about a year ago while the dog was being chased by a kid at night. I couldn't see either of the two as they dodged out into the street between the 2 cars. The dog caused damage to my car, but at least the child was not hit or hurt. Now, this takes me to another point of confusion, as at a recent council meeting, concerns were expressed about not wanting to encourage any unnecessary on-street parking when considering zoning involving front yard carports. There was discussion on utilizing alleyways or alleyway driveways where possible to minimize cluttering the streets. In the case of 8th Street, where this neighborhood has alleyways, the city has just recently spent money rehabbing the entire alleyways in the 1700 block of 8th Street. Yes, these alleys are sometimes used to store junk, vehicles, and other debris. I'm sure code enforcement can verify what I'm saying. But residents should be encouraged to use their alley parking instead of on-street parking in this area. Why would double standards be applied promoting on-street parking along this high-traveled thoroughfare while discouraging on-street parking on the Velasco side of town? I asked the city to do the right thing in putting those no parking signs back up and helping keep 8th Street a safer place to drive and live. Thank you for taking time.
Thank
to
you,
listen
sir,
to what
for
I
your
have to say.
comment. All right.
Can I ask you about this and how to get on the agenda to remove to begin with?
All right, so because this was not in the ordinance, so it got removed, so we would be voting to have an ordinance, to create an ordinance, to have no parking there. Driving that because of that curb, the way the street curves, I can see if you have people parking up on either side, that, and people fly down 8th Street.
Another long street with no stop signs.
And yeah. All right. Is there any more comments?
Okay, a question. Are we talking about having no parking on both sides of the street or just blocking it on one side?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Okay,
That's the way it was previously.
Yeah.
okay.
I could see the need for the no parking signs.
It's been a problem for a long time, especially with the duplexes, the amount of cars that were being parked out there. That's kind of why it was created.
Is that for the entire block, or is that only for the first 100 feet, or specifically where are you wanting them?
That's a good question.
Can you show me the other side of the street again, please?
So this would be for the 1700 block.
Correct. It was
So this
basically for
direction's the
duplexes.
1700 block, and then turning around, this is the
Yeah, that one.
1600 block here.
Okay,
Let me go that
so
way.
you could park on the 1600 block, but not on the 1700 block.
Correct. And it was basically done because of the duplexes, the amount of traffic and the cars.
Yeah.
And they do have parking in the backs of their houses?
Correct.
Garages
Brand new
and stuff?
concrete driveways.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm surprised Google found a day with no cars out there.
No parking signs were there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it appears from here to the corner, there's no driveways accessing the road anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's alleys. But the
This is-
alleys have been
This
improved.
is the closest drive here.
Well, if there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion on this.
Make a motion that we draft an ordinance to put no parking signs back on 8th Street on that block, both sides of the road.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made by Eric, seconded by Ron.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimous. All right, on to agenda item number 4, to discuss and take action on an application for rezoning submitted by Daniel M. Morgan to rezone from C1 to a multifamily. It's a part of the 1100 block of North Avenue J and part of the 1100 block of North Avenue I, including properties noted in the Brazoria County Appraisal District as property ID number 261-265, 261-271, 261-269, 261-264, 259610259608. You got all that?
Got it.
That's
All
enough.
right. We'll now open the public hearing at 6:17.
Because I
Is there
have to
any-
run the computer, I'm going to do it from here, please. So this property is currently zoned C1 for commercial business. As you can see, it's here in the light green area. So it's a C1 area. It does border already multifamily on most of the sides. And so to kind of clarify here, these are the properties in question that are requesting for the rezone, just this entire block and part of the second block. And then to kind of give you a view on the map, it's a large, open, empty lot. And then also this area here. You see there's already apartments all the way around. And so we don't see any problems, so staff recommends the rezone. And Mr. Morgan is here to speak on his behalf as well.
So I came here today to talk to you guys about this. Me and my partner are interested in have the land under contract here for the track that says track 1 here and track 2. Also have a deal pending on track 3 and 4. Still negotiating with that guy in the middle of 3 and 4. I just met the gentleman here tonight that owns the last 3 pieces there. I went knocking on his door to speak with him, and today was the first day I got to speak with him. So, but hopefully things will work out to where I can get those last 2 pieces to where the only thing left would be where Patrick's Locksmith business is at, and that would be lot 1 through 5. So ultimately, my goal would be to get all of these coming all the way across and also try to obtain the streets from the city if possible to where it says that it's Avenue I. I don't know the rules or how it works with you guys to purchase or how it works to get that. And also I'd like to get, I can't read that, I need glasses, it's getting to that point, but Roller Street, it goes up to Meadow Lane, and there's an apartment complex that have already bought the other half of Meadow Lane, or I guess got it from you guys because they're concrete and their cars are already parked up straight to that gate. But as of today, I have it to where I could work with Patrick to, and I already have the other one under contract from the church, to where what I could speak about today that I feel good about is that I could get track 1 and 2 and hopefully purchase from the city Avenue I and the roller street down to the end of track 2. And if you guys will allow it, then I would, me and Patrick, we could go ahead and get track 4, and that would not, what did you call it, spot zoning.
Well, the only thing right now is for the rezone of the property, so purchases of land has to go through city council. They don't have the authority to approve a purchase of land.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, at least you understand the vision of what I'm trying to do with this. Ideally, I'm trying to go all the way to Avenue H to Avenue J.
How many units do you have in mind?
Well, I did, so I already did the calculation before I thought of getting a hold of Patrick when he called me to redo his floor. Then I remembered he owned all these lots, so I did a takeoff, and I apologize I didn't bring it, but I paid a guy, a designer, to do track 1, and on track 1, it had 36. Ideally, I'd like to have at least 100 is the goal, but ultimately, we're gonna go by your code and specific, whatever you tell us as far as driveways, grassy areas, all that. So as of today, until I get it rezoned and you approve that, I can't, and then I guess I gotta now go to the next step with the city to find out about that. I don't really have a good idea to how to lay it out perfectly, because right now I'm trying to see how much total I can get from the city and the last 2 people to negotiate with, and then I can answer that question.
Did you mention you were interested in a multi-story, like 2 or 3 stories high?
Yeah, so ideally, it's gonna be a Section 8. I'd like to be 55 and up. Units is what me and my partner are going for. So this is, the numbers work really good as far as compared to what the normal rental rate is versus what the apartments rent it to people that are not on Section 8 for.
So just in summary, so the large empty lot is in question tonight, and then the area here is for the rezone. And then if he's successful in the purchasing, he'll come back later to rezone if he's successful in purchasing
So
it.
we're just talking about rezoning tract 1.
Yes, this large area here, and then the area back here.
Oh,
So
so
it's all
tract 1 and 2.
continuous.
And 4, because.
Right, the ones that are, in fact, let me show you. The area's in dark green on this map.
The ones that I'd like to get rezoned today is track 1, 2, and 4.
You don't own 4 yet though, right?
Yeah, well, me and him, we got to deal together with it.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Is there any other comments?
And I will say for the record that he has given me permission letters from the prospective owners, and his sale is contingent on the rezone. So he's done all the paperwork and has the permission of the current owners to do this.
Oh, he's always prepared. I like him.
Thank you.
Well,
What type of apartments are these gonna be?
Well, they're gonna be a little above average, I can tell you that. Everything we do, we try to do a little extra. They're gonna be Section 8 apartments, honestly, for the area that it fits and for what it is. My hopes and dreams is that I can make it work for 55 and up, is my,
Okay,
and
55 and up,
so
okay.
I think even if I just get track 1 and track 2, that I will be able to get at least 60, something like that total. But ideally, I'd like to have at least 100.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
all right. All right, well, if there's no further comments, we can go ahead and close the public hearing and entertain discussion and a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Oh, yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, now we're approving a rezone of tract 1, 2, and 4 only.
Correct.
So was 4 included in the agenda, or just 1 and 2?
Yes, the property IDs, what's included on the agenda are what's in green.
Okay.
The property
Yeah.
IDs that are.
And that's all we can actually vote on right now is what's
Yeah.
on
It's
the
just
agenda.
track 1
Right.
and track 2 for tonight.
Right.
Sorry, but,
So just tract 1 and tract 2
yeah.
for tonight. So 3 and 4 we'll have to come back to.
Correct.
All right, so what was your motion?
To approve.
Motion,
I'm sorry, I have one quick question. On the, and you told me I'm just asking. in case,
That's okay.
You mentioned,
Sure.
So if I'm not successful, negotiating with the guy with the other two lots that are in between 3 and 4, does that mean no matter what, you won't be able to get track 3 approved? Because that would be spot zoning
Correct, it has to be, they have
to the end.
to be
Continuous.
side by side.
But would I be able to at least get track 4?
I can't speak to that at this time, really.
And we could probably consult with the city attorney and see if that would be legal
Yeah.
as well.
4 should be fine.
But
Once you come back, because if you're doing 1 and 2 right now, 2 would be up against 4, so you could technically do that. That's not considered spot zoning, as long as it's contingent with another piece of property in that same zoning classification.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure spot zoning is even a thing, but that's,
Yeah, it very much will.
well,
And I just want to know if I can get one more opinion. I know it'll come in time, but I've just been wondering, and maybe y'all know, maybe you don't. Whenever, do you know how it works? Where, if I do want to buy that Avenue I and Avenue J, how they normally do that? I mean, the roller street?
We've actually had that happen several times. So you would get a realtor's estimate from a broker's estimate from a realtor, and then approach city council with an estimated cost, and then they would vote to sell you that piece of property or not.
yeah.
And the last question is you see there's an alley right there in between track 2 and 4 and 3 that runs through there?
Yep.
Does that guy get to keep that no matter what if you don't get that property? Or could you put that into the equation to try to buy that too? And he still has the way in off of,
You
Avenue
could,
A?
you could ask the council for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it would kind of all depend on the neighbor, on what your neighbor's got. You can't hinder him by cutting an alley out if it would hinder your neighbor, for accessing that property. But short of that, you can do it.
Have you,
I don't know if
have you
there's any-
discussed with Patrick?
He's all in with me, Patrick.
Oh.
He's good to do, yeah. But the only one that I've been busy, and the guy lives in Houston. I found out where he lives. He lives in an apartment complex by the airport. So I just found that out about a week ago. So I'm gonna do better to try to negotiate with him and the other owners right here that I met tonight, that I'm gonna try to get his number and work with him. And then if that works, then it's gonna be perfect. I'll go all the way past Avenue H.
Well, tonight we can only do track 1 and
Yeah.
2, and I do look forward to seeing your landscape plan.
You got it.
Mike, you might want to get with Viola and find out if there is any easements or anything, because if you're going to try to pick up that street and alleyway, you might want to make sure there's no utilities or anything running under.
I'm glad you told me
Good
that,
idea.
because
Yeah.
ideally, if I got a price for that ditch to close it in, and it was like $200,000 with the right pipe, and that was just running the pipe, not the dirt, around that 180, something like that. So I was gonna ask if it didn't have that, if I could actually put the pond right there, it would work better, because it's already a drainage, and it would just make everything better for me.
Mike, I'd like to say something to you that, it really, I think it's just wonderful because you have business here. I think it's wonderful because you have business here in Freeport and you're willing to do more things for the city. And housing or apartments like this, something that we've been needing for a long time. And I just want to give you a push-up because
Thank you.
I know, and most of us, well, even the community, have seen the things that you've done, and you've actually gone through with them, made them really nice. So I just want to give you a push-up for that. Thank you.
Just for the record, my other project's underway, the one in Angleton, the Angleton Park Place.
Yes.
It was 8 years coming. I bet most people didn't think it would happen, but it broke ground, and it's gonna be fully developed by February. So
Wow.
I wish we could do one here, but long story short, it's a mobile home subdivision
All right.
in the city limits.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think we do have a motion on the
Yes, we
floor.
do.
So
We have a motion
we
to
have
approve.
we have a motion to approve the rezone for tracks 1 and 2 to multifamily. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimous.
Good deal.
All right.
Just wait right here, and we'll talk about the last one, huh?
All right, we might as well.
Andrew, who made the motion?
I did.
Yes, Eric made the motion.
And a second?
You seconded it. I seconded it.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Ronnie seconded it.
So do they have permission for this, for what I came for today, for the storage?
Well, storage, that's up next.
But is that up to them to approve to be able to drive on that?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right, so on to agenda item number 5, discuss and take possible action. This is an application to modify the specific use permit that was granted for the proposed mini-storage facility located at 1915 North Brazosport Boulevard to allow for an access via Jones Road, Lafitte, and modification to the building plan. All right. Oh, Mike?
So, we already purchased this land from Brazosport Plumbing. He had a year lease. It's been already 6 months, so he will be leaving, and the plan is to knock down the building there. If you notice the way the layout is, there's 87 total lots here. What they are is gonna be luxury boat and RV slips. So the plan is to put air, electric, and climate in each unit. And at the very end, on the very dead end, will be a washout area to clean the motors and stuff and dump the sewer, and an ice machine.
Can you, I'm sorry, can you show me on this plan exactly? Where would the boats and things go?
So it comes in right here, and then right at the dead end right there is gonna be where it's gonna have, where the sewer clean out, and it's gonna have the.
I'm sorry.
I can just draw it and then go back there if you want.
Okay.
But
So,
it's right here, what we're talking about.
all right. So in the back,
Yes, sir.
basically, the property.
Well,
Gotcha.
right here is Yellowstone, and what I'm asking for today is when you come in here, this is a 70-foot easement that goes all the way down.
That's all grass right now, yeah.
Well, half of it's grass, half of it's ditch. 30 foot from my property to where the ditch falls off is roughly 33 feet. I'm asking for permission to concrete out 25 foot from my property and cut it straight out to Lafayette Street.
And the trailer neighborhood's just the other side of this.
And that's the next thing I'd like to do is put up a fence. And the question is, if I need to put it on the other side of the ditch that butts up to the mobile home stuff, I'll step back there. You clear?
Yeah, I'm clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just was clear.
So
Right.
that was the next question, was the fence. One question is, can I put concrete 25 foot off my property line and use this easement and make this an exit or entrance? I don't want to I want to leave it open-ended unless you have a reason you want to tell me that it only can be an exit. And the next question is, if I can put a fence, would it have to be on the other side, butted up to the trailer park, or could I put it on this side of the ditch?
I would think the fence would have to be on your property.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
couldn't go into a right-of-way of a street. Now, as for developing the street, I'm sure the city would be happy if you developed the street at your cost. I'm sure they would love that. So I
Yeah.
don't see why you couldn't get the access to Lafitte at all. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. But the fence would have to be on yours unless you possibly bought that street easement, and then you could put the fence all the way up against the drainage ditch.
Yeah.
If you bought the easement from them.
And I did clarify that with the city attorney before the meeting, and he said that that could be done with an agreement.
Right.
To buy the whole thing all the way up to the highway?
I don't know all the way up to the highway. You'll have to show him. Is it a possibility? He said yes, with an agreement. So you'd have to, kind of the same thing, bring your drawing, because we didn't have that at the time, and show him, and then he
Okay.
could draft an agreement.
You'd
So I
need a
heard
good-
what you said, I'm just asking, what if it's on the property line butted to the up to the mobile home park?
You mean on their property line or on your property line?
Well,
Y'all
right.
don't meet, there's a section in between there, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm asking if, where the trailer park is, can I put it on the city, would they allow it if it's on the city, not in the middle where they could still mow, and it would just be down all the way there?
Probably not.
Are you talking about
I
the
don't-
fence or the driveway?
The fence.
The fence?
The fence has to
Probably
be
not.
on your property line.
Yeah.
I could probably negotiate a free fence for the guy there at the trailer park, I'm sure I can't speak for him, but I would offer it.
Yeah.
If you pay to put a fence on his property line, he might approve it.
I mean, a privacy all the way down, just,
Right.
they might be
You
happy,
know,
maybe he won't like that.
have your people talk to his people, but,
Okay,
Right.
but there is an option, then you're saying to purchase part of it or all of it, and would that mean the whole 70-foot, including the ditch, and you would own the ditch with it?
What the attorney said, that it wouldn't be a purchase, it would have been agreement, because for flat work, to be able to do the roadway, you know, not building structures, but that you would be able to put a drive or a street on that access.
Right, you wouldn't be able to do the access for the drainage ditch, because I think 288 has an access for that through TxDOT on drainage, through Velasco drainage. You might have to check on that, but I don't think you could purchase a drainage.
Gotcha.
Hey, I've drove back there. It's drivable.
Yeah, it's 35 foot, I mean, all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, I mean, but these streets are 40, if you notice there also, I made the 2 streets where the boat storage is 40 feet, and the ones for the storage are 25 feet.
Yeah. A good fence would be a good idea.
Yep.
Could I ask a question? Are you planning on having outside boat storage and RV storage, or is it all gonna be covered?
No, it's all inside, it's all,
Okay.
and it's gonna have climate in the units.
Okay, good, good.
There's gonna be proposed 87 units. If you look, I didn't check the Freeport Marina, but I did check the Surfside Marina, and for those same size stalls, they're at like $675.
Yeah.
And for me, and they don't have climate and air and all the things that I would have right there, and I'm gonna go for $375 a lot.
I just get a little touchy about the outside storage of boats and RVs, because what I'm starting to see a little of, and maybe even getting a bunch of, is real junkers that have been pulled in there. I'm pretty sure they've quit paying any kind of lease payments, and now somebody's got to clean that mess up.
I'm trying to literally advertise it as luxury boat and RV storage. So
Good.
That's, with
Yeah.
polished concrete, extra things, stone on the corner, stuff like that.
Thank you.
Boats and RVs, you also have the potential of leaking oils, fluids. You
Yeah,
know, staying
especially fluids.
right into a drainage ditch that goes into groundwater.
Yeah.
You know, there's,
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
all right. Well, if there's no further comment, we can go ahead and close the public hearing, 6:37. And discuss.
I don't have any discussion. I understand his plan. I think it looks great. You have to work out a couple details with the city. But,
Yeah, I think that's not for this meeting.
no. I would,
There's another typo here we may want to fix. At the end of item summary, it says "we will." I think that should read "he will forward his plans as soon as they are received."
Yeah.
That's just clerical thing there.
Oh, yeah, that's not on the zones, that's just the,
Okay.
well,
So sorry, one more thing I need to say before you close it. When you look at the corner building there, in case, because I don't know how you, when you say that I'm presenting the plans, yeah, there may be a few little building size changes on the mini storage as far as a couple of them. And the only other change that might happen is at the corner, there might be an office put inside that one in the corner. If you notice that the one on Yellowstone and Brassport Boulevard right now, the original one that I gave you guys the first time had an office there, so I just want that to be clarified that the only change that is gonna, I've changed it so many times, I'm confident this is what I want, is that at the red light, there could still be possibly an office put there with water and sewer. So I wanna just put that in there, that way, if I present it to you and it's ready to stamp, that it's all been said of how I'm gonna do it. Other than that, as far as the dimensions and all that, this is what my final hope is that's gonna happen.
yeah. Well, we already threw a bunch of trees into the specific use permit last time. I think we've already given them enough.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can keep them alive, this is gonna be a great project.
Yeah, we gotta keep them trees alive.
I'm gonna wind up probably putting in that irrigation, just so you know, somehow, I don't want it all to be out there, just look at it. drive by forever, y'all go, man, he's first class, he did a great job all the way.
Good man. All right, well, if there's no further discussion. You got any questions, any more? All right.
Looks good.
So do we need to vote on anything here? I'm looking for, what's the question? Good information.
So the request is to allow access via Lafitte Road and to allow him to make those changes. It was originally for mini storage, and now it will be for boat and RV in the rear.
And if you are, somebody's coming, pulling up, hooking up a trailer and trying to pull out, it would be better to have another entrance egress point, just safety and traffic flow wise, I think.
And whether you will allow that to be entrance and exit or exit only. That was another question.
So looking at this diagram,
It says exit only on the diagram.
yeah, and looking, following the path down, I see two gates between RV2 and RV3 and between RV1 and RV2. So if those could be entrance gates,
And that'd be the exit.
yeah, I mean, that'd give you smooth traffic flow for people coming and going.
And if you've got a big boat trailer, that would be the way to do it.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
that your exit.
Hopefully you're not getting tired of me coming back before it's tired. This is what we're here to figure this out, right?
We are.
So the very last thing is if something comes up and the fence is not into this, I don't like pulling straight out and looking straight across to the trailers and stuff. I don't have problems with trailers, but when they look bad, I try to block them and do what I can to look better.
Yeah.
So if something happens with this, I want to put this on the record to say that I would lose 4 spots, the last 4 spots in the middle row, and I'll just turn back around and come back out. In other words, if this doesn't work out with the city to allow me to put the fence, that's a big distraction to me because I'm trying to be first class and I want it to look good. So the thing I want to put out there is if I can't work this out with the city or the neighbor to be able to give them a free fence to put it up and me maintain the fence, then I would like to lose 4 spots. And then just imagine that circling back out.
That's in that middle section called RV2?
The one, yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to come back if
yeah,
something
you
hurts.
take those corners off. Okay,
So that, I ran that scenario and my guy forgot to print it that way, but I was gonna give you another map like that.
Okay.
That should be everything that I need from you guys.
Well, I like the idea of a good fence, but I think having an exit gate right there would be a good idea for traffic flow. Boat
yeah,
trailers.
but I realize that that's going to be up to the city to give you access to Lafitte, I guess.
I can still put the exit there, even if I have my fence there, and I can put gates there and lose the end to where if they want to, they can have the code, but I don't know. But ideally, I just don't want to see that stuff there when I pull out calling it luxury boat and RV. If that's blocked, literally everything looks nice all the way through there except for those older trailers.
Yeah. Well, so should that be an exit only, like it says in the drawing? I think we should stick with the drawing, personally.
I think we're just voting on give him access, really, on design plans. He
Yep.
can have changes, and whether it be an entrance or an exit, he can, possibly change that up as he builds out. We're just basically.
It's an
giving
SUP, it
approval.
can be whatever we want it to be.
All right, looks good to me.
Yes, this isn't your standard zoning
Right.
question. With it being a specific use permit, y'all can set the guidelines and standards.
Well, not knowing how the business might evolve, it's really hard to set real specific guidelines. I'm in favor of putting some access there to Lafitte. Just, if we're gonna have boat trailers going in and out, it'd be better traffic flow if we could. I trust that we'll have good fence and we'll have really beautiful trees and good screening. And flower beds and a fountain out front, and some balloons.
Marble sculpture.
Yeah, marble sculpture, okay.
Mike, how are you gonna turn, your retention pond, where are you gonna tie that in at? For your drain on your retention pond?
Well, we'll leave that up to the engineer. It shows it on the map there, so I'm assuming he's already got that.
Yeah, I see he's got it on the map. I was just wondering where is he tying in to drain that off on city services? Because you've got that as detention. Or are you more or less gonna keep all of that, not drain all of it off? Or are you gonna keep that like a pond?
The honest
or-
answer is, I don't think every detention pond has a drainage exit plan, because the one at my park over there, I got 21 acres, and I just walked up, it's in the very back. It doesn't, it's literally just dug out, and the city there, Angleton approved it like that.
So it doesn't drain off nowhere once it gets full or anything?
Unless there's something underground that I didn't know about, but I doubt it. It doesn't look like
Okay,
Could just be evaporation.
so you could stock that with fish.
it. Look,
Put a fountain out there?
I don't know how they're doing it. Like,
Put a fountain out there?
I'm gonna put some, those
No,
grass growing.
I like to think I'm reasonable.
I don't know that.
I like to
Like
think
over
I'm
at the dollar
reasonable.
store where they did it, they tied in drains to drain that off, to keep
Yeah.
it from being full all the time.
I mean, obviously, if you had a choice, that'd be yes. I guess he could easily put it into Jones Road. You know,
I just
or-
like to see them either drain off or be full, not sit
Looking
there and be
mucky.
breeding mosquito ponds,
Yeah.
you know,
True.
constantly. It either
I'm
needs to
good with
have.
put, I mean, luckily, there's two here. They both have an option to put it either on Jones Road and Yellowstone with culverts underneath. So that's no problem.
Truthfully, I mean, I would like to see, at least drawings, if not examples, of what the fence will be around that, and just, what the screening will be. You brought some of that before.
We went over that last time. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the same one you approved.
Okay, it's gonna be the same as what we saw last time, so we're not modifying that. We're just saying there'll be another gate in the rear.
That's all I'm asking for today, or if not, just take 4 out and turn back around and come back out.
And I will say for the drainage that we do rely on the Velasco Drainage District and the engineered draining plan. Some of them are retention and some are detention ponds.
Right.
But it depends on what the recommendation is of the engineer.
Yeah,
I don't know what the name of those are, but the ones over there at Irving Crest Apartments where they have their retention pond, those big things growing out of them that have that, I would definitely put that in there where it looks nicer. But I will, here, if you guys let us, I'd like to drain it too.
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of approving the modification pending agreement with how that fence is going to be built and on that property line.
Pending the what now?
Pending an agreement as to how the fence will be placed on that property line in the back.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can we do that way?
Which agreement are you talking about? Between the city or between the mobile home park owner? Because as far as the city concerned, he can only build a fence on his property. Now, if
Yes.
he wants to make an agreement with the mobile home park owner to build a nice fence on their side, I mean, you can't really enforce that if the mobile home park owner chooses not to. That's his property and you can't force him to. So what is the request of the fence? I mean, because on the specific use permit, you required that the property be fenced, that it be
Yes.
screened, there was some other requirements in there. And we would still uphold that.
Okay.
On his property line.
Okay, on his property line. And it's up to him to figure out an agreement on that side.
That would be optional and extra with the other owner.
All right,
Sounds good.
well, we have a motion
Motion.
approving the modification.
I make a motion to approve the modification.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Pam, seconded by Jim. Motion is to approve the modifications to the specific use permit to allow for boats and RV storage and also to allow a driveway access in the rear of the property going onto Lafitte Street. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimous. And now we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
All right, motion by Eric. Second. Second by Jim. All in favor?